Steelers will be there for a while. Plus, the Ravens GM aims his ire at critics of the wide receiving corps in Baltimore. We'll discuss that. And of course, did you see the show that Steph Curry put on last night? Did you see it? Did you see it? It's hard to believe. We here. First Takes in the house. Let's go.
It's 10-0. What a start for Philadelphia.
They're off to a good start. Doesn't matter. This game is ours as soon as we settle down.
Hello, Steph Curry with back-to-back threes.
Uh-oh. Hits it at the buzzer.
Joel says, come at me.
Steph Curry now 11 straight games with 30 or more.
This guy is absolutely ridiculous.
Steph Curry with the shot. Yes, sir. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on a Tuesday. Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman, I'm Molly Karen Rose. Fellas, this man is unreal. Continuing to have jaw-dropping nights. He's setting records daily. For his latest feat, Curry poured in 49, 20 of them in the fourth quarter in a 107-96 win over the Philadelphia 76ers on Monday night, becoming the first player in NBA history, age 33 or older, to score 30 or more points in 11 straight games, passing Lakers legend Kobe Bean Bryant, who scored at least 30 in 10 straight games. That was in December of 2012. Stephen A., is this the best Steph has ever been in his career?
I think he looks it right now. And here's the reason why I would say this. Because it's without Klay Thompson on the court. That's why. See, no matter what greatness you saw from Steph Curry during his his back-to-back MVP years, when you looked at him and you saw Klay Thompson on the court with him, who was an elite marksman in his own right, and the crew that they had assembled, obviously, as great as Steph Curry was, you could marvel at it while at the same time recognizing the fact that you have to pay attention to somebody else who's a pretty elite shooter himself, and that is Klay Thompson, who I believe to be one of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball. I think Klay Thompson is that elite of a marksman himself. But when you look at what's transpiring this year, and you look from an offensive perspective of what Steph Curry has around him and what he's doing, averaging 31, 6, and 5 on 43% shooting from three-point range. And this is like before April, he had a little stretch there where he was struggling with some three-point outputs or whatever. This dude is the elite marksman in the history of basketball, the greatest shooter we have ever seen, the greatest shooter that God ever created. I'm telling you, this is what he is, and everybody knows it, and it's no longer a deniable issue. Now, I don't have him as my league MVP, but my apologies to him. He definitely needs to be included in the conversation. He's not a top 2, might not even be a top 3 candidate for league MVP honors because the Golden State Warriors are an average team. But when I look at his greatness, it speaks for itself. And when you look at it in terms of his performance this year, the greatness that we're witnessing without Klay Thompson is what really stands out in my mind. Those other performances, as great as he was in the past, Klay Thompson was on the court with him. Klay Thompson's not there this year. You know he's the lone option offensively for the Golden State Warriors, and you still can't stop him.
Yeah, let's get Max in.
No, as great as Steph Curry is right now, and he is in the MVP conversation undeniably, he just put himself there. He forced himself there. Look, before the season, I thought Luka was going to win MVP. I thought Steph would be way up there because he has to carry more load, because there is no Klay Thompson. Because of course he's going to shoot it more. Who else is going to shoot it on that team? So I'm not impressed beyond where I thought I would be, except when your eyes are on Steph Curry, you go, oh my God, how can something be better than this? In 2015-16, when they won 73 games, Stephen A., it was even better. I mean, it's virtually the same player, right? But that's the thing. He was the same player back then. I mean, game has evolved a little short. He stole the ball more frequently then. I looked up the stats. They're almost identical, but he had twice as many steals. But he does some things now with more, he's more experienced now. But the difference is he was doing that in a league that wasn't ready. It's one of the reasons they won 73 games before KD. 73 games. And I know you watch it now, you go, oh my God, he just dropped 47. He dropped it. He had multiple 50-point games, 51, 50, 50-something. He had tons of 40-point games that year. It's easy to forget when your eyes aren't on him that year what he was doing then, but he was doing it in the league where no one else was. That has even more value. Now you have Damian Lillard. Oh, look at that. I could shoot from way out there. Let me try this. You have Trae Young. You have other guys where Steph has shown the way, and now they're doing it too, making it still incredible, but not the same kind of impact it had back then. Of course, they had Clay then, Iguodala, Draymond Green was shooting better. Stephen A., all that stuff is true, and that contributed, obviously, mightily to those 73 wins. But my God, what Steph was doing back then, there was a reason he was MVP, and we all said, yeah, he's MVP. Look, right now, the Portland Trail Blazers record isn't amazing. The Nuggets record isn't amazing, and we're looking at Jokic and Damian Lillard, and Steph is in that category. Back then, it was Steph Curry as MVP, retire the prize.
Well, I disagree. Like I said, you can point to the greatness of Steph Curry, and a lot of people will point to what he did in 2016 particularly. But my point is that when you have a marksman, an elite marksman on the court with you, and that distracts the defense, that plays a role in what you're capable of doing. It's almost like if you go on the court with LeBron James, you're going to be better because LeBron James is elite and attracts such a clear amount of attention that it's going to make things easier for the people around him. Steph Curry had Clay back in the past. He doesn't have Clay this year. And when you look at what he's doing anyway, you just have to marvel at it. And his conditioning, his movement without the basketball, it's just something special to behold. The ball handling skills, the jump shooting, all of that stuff. But Max, I looked up a stat here I want to throw by you, a few of them. I have in front of me, Max, threes that Steph Curry has hit against each team in the NBA this year. Okay? In 2 games against Atlanta, all right, he's hit 18 of 33 threes. All right. In 2 games against Chicago, it's 11 of 29 threes. In 2 games against Cleveland, it's 11 of 24 threes. In 2 games against Dallas and Denver, it's 15 of 29 threes. Against Detroit in 2 games, it's 11 of 17 threes. Against Houston in 2 games, it's 10 of 26 threes. Against the Clippers, it's 11 of 28 threes. Against Miami, it's 10 of 31 threes. Against Minnesota, it's 11 of 23 threes. Against New York, the Knicks, it's 12 of 28 threes in 2 games. Against Orlando, it's 16 of 35 threes. Against Philly, against last night, the only game he played against them this year, it's 10 of 17 threes. Against Damian Lillard in Portland, it's 17 of 42 threes. Against San Antonio in 3 games, it's 14 of 29 threes. Against Utah, it's 11 of 19 threes in 2 games. I mean, my God. I mean, do you understand that if you shoot 35% from 3-point range, that's considered decent? Look at the numbers that I threw out to you against a slew of opponents, elite and otherwise. It does not matter. This brother is something
but you know what that adds up to?
As a marksman. Yes.
I put stats up in front of me while you were doing that. You know what that adds up to? It adds up to 12 threes a game, and he's hitting 43% of them, which is amazing. It's why he's in the MVP conversation now. In 2015-16, when he won MVP and his team won 73 games, he shot 11 threes. But 11 threes back then is more than 12 threes now. The league caught on. James Harden and the Rockets, everyone caught on. Oh, we're supposed to be shooting all these threes. And everyone became better 3-point shooters. So what he's doing in the context of his league now is not the same as then. And Stephen A., I could read off all the numbers because they sound very similar. 11.2 threes then, 12.1 threes now. He hit 45% of his threes then. He's shooting 43 now. So in that league back then, taking 11 threes and hitting over 45% of them, my God. And as you said, of course, Clay opens things up. You have to pay attention. You're not paying attention to Steph. But he was doing that on a team with Clay and Dre and Iggy and all those guys in the service of winning and becoming the dominant team we thought they were going to win the championship that year. Of course he's got to take all these shots now because who else is going to take them? I'm saying they're very similar players. We're splitting hairs. But when I look at the hungry Steph Curry from back then, showing the world a new way to play basketball, I think it has even more value than what he's doing today.
Well, you could say it might have